You know when someone sends you a message saying just okay with a period at the end and your heart freezes instantly? In 3 or 4 seconds, your brain has already done a complete scan of the last 24 hours, analyzed the message's punctuation, the time it took the person to reply, and has already created 10 contingency plans to put out a fire that may not even exist. Or you know when you walk into a room and without anyone saying a single word, you've already deciphered everyone's mood in there? You know exactly who's irritated, who's just tired, and who you need to walk on eggshells with. If you experience this in your daily life, I bet your whole life people have pointed the finger in your face saying you're too hyped. The people around you, with the best intentions, constantly give you that terrible advice. You urgently need to slow down. Go meditate, try sitting down, have some tea, and live in the present moment.
And then the cruelest irony of all happens. When you finally try to relax, it makes you even more panicked. Doing nothing gives you physical agony, a feeling that you're letting your guard down and something terrible is going to happen unexpectedly. And because of that, you end up convincing yourself that there's something fundamentally broken inside you. But let me tell you a brutal secret that will blow your mind today. You're not crazy, and you definitely don't have a factory defect. This constant state of alert that drains your energy isn't a weakness. It's the most sophisticated and ingenious biological survival mechanism your body could have created. Your hypervigilance was your armor. Your brain developed an analytical superpower to keep you alive. Today, we're going to debunk together the psychology of those who live with this radar switched on 24 hours a day. And I'll tell you one thing right now. We're going to understand, through neuroscience, why trying to combat anxiety only with positive thinking is the worst possible strategy. And I'm going to give you the exact biological mechanism to deactivate this internal fire alarm in a completely practical way. Agreed? So take a deep breath, come with me, and pay close attention, because this will forever change the way you deal with your own body. The painful truth is that society romanticizes hypervigilance. People look at you and think, wow, you're so proactive, so empathetic, always ready to solve everything. You've become the official radar for your family and your work. You're the master of contingencies, always 10 steps ahead. But what no one sees from the outside is the hidden price of all this efficiency. What no one realizes is the relentless exhaustion of living with your foot firmly on the accelerator, but with the handbrake pulled to the maximum.
The wheel spins, burns rubber, wears out the engine, but the car doesn't move. There's a fascinating concept in neuroscience and polyvagal theory called neuroception. In practical terms, it's the automatic ability of your nervous system to scan the environment for threats. For a person with a regulated nervous system, this danger antenna only activates when there is a real and immediate threat. But for you, who have been trained by life to live in a state of alert, the button on this antenna has simply broken in the on position. Think about it. Imagine that at some significant point in your life, perhaps during your childhood growing up in an unpredictable household, perhaps during a highly abusive relationship or in an extremely hostile work environment, you needed to anticipate danger in order to protect yourself. To cope with this daily chaos, your brain, a brilliant machine of adaptation, hired an internal bodyguard.
A relentless bodyguard, armed to the teeth, who swore to protect you no matter what, and who never, under any circumstances, sleeps on the job. And he's spectacular at what he does. He saved you in the past and brought you here. But the scenario has changed. Today you are safe. Maybe you're in your living room on a quiet Sunday afternoon. Everything is peaceful. But that inner bodyguard of yours is still standing in the middle of the living room, tense, gun in hand, screaming in your head. Don't let your guard down. That deeper sigh from your partner isn't tiredness. It means he's hiding anger towards you. Your body is constantly reacting to ghosts. You think you're anxious about the future, but the scientific truth is that your entire physical body is stuck in the time zone of your past. And it is precisely here that we enter the greatest and cruelest paradox of your life, the peace paradox. Clinical psychology calls this relaxation-induced anxiety. Think about the logic of your mind. If your brain has learned the hard way that the only way to avoid pain is by paying absolute attention to everything around you all the time, the simple act of closing your eyes and relaxing means throwing your shield to the ground in the middle of a battlefield. It's a death sentence for your subconscious. Pay close attention to this because it will free you from a lot of guilt. For the hypervigilant person, chaos is not bad. Chaos is predictable. It's incredibly familiar territory. Urgency and stress are the places where you know how to operate with mastery. On the other hand, peace, silence, a Sunday with nothing to do, or a healthy, game-free romantic relationship are completely terrifying simply because they are unknown. They are places where you are in constant expectation that the rug will be pulled out from under you at any second. Keeping that bodyguard working double shifts consumes a colossal amount of energy.
Your internal radar spends all day draining battery trying to figure out who to trust, where it's safe to tread, and trying to organize the world around you to feel minimally at peace. And since your brain is constantly searching for a safe haven to anchor in, I want to propose something to you. Transform this channel into your official safe harbor. Click the subscribe button now. Do you know why you should do this, using the very logic of your biology? Because by signing up, you send a direct and intentional signal to your nervous system that you found a predictable and scientifically validated environment. Here, you won't find that toxic self-help that judges you and tells you to just think positive. Here, we decode your mind using real science and empathy. Leave the hard work of researching neuroscience articles to me. Tell your bodyguard that he already knows where to seek help when the alarm goes off. Click the button and focus only on evolving.
Did you give your mind that green light? Excellent, because now the biological bill for this constant alert is coming, and we are going to learn, in practice, how to disarm this bomb. You can't fool your body's machinery forever. Keeping this complex system operating in the red zone of stress generates a medical phenomenon we call allostatic load. Basically, it's the corrosive buildup of chronic stress that overflows from the mind and begins to violently leak into your physical body. And the bill arrives in that silent way you know so well. It's your jaw that wakes up feeling like stone from clenching it so much at night, the famous bruxism. It's your intestines that seem to have a mind of their own and react to any emotional variation. After all, the body doesn't want to waste energy on digestion if it thinks you need to run from a lion. It's that throbbing tension at the base of your neck that makes it feel like you're carrying an invisible bag of cement all day. And the worst of all, the heavy feeling of opening your eyes in the morning already begging to go back to sleep. Your body shuts down in bed, yes, but your mind spends the whole night in military boots patrolling around your room. So how do we actually turn this off? If sitting in silence causes you panic and positive thinking doesn't work, what's the real way out? The first golden rule for those who live in a state of heightened alert is to accept that you will never be able to convince a fire alarm to turn off simply by politely talking to it. If the house seems to be on fire to your nervous system, you won't calm it down by repeating mental mantras like, "It's okay, there's no fire." In those moments, your rational mind is literally hijacked by the fear center. You don't solve an instinctive bodily problem by trying to use only mental logic. We're going to hack the body. Science calls this bottom-up regulation. Instead of fighting the thought, we're going to actively change your physiology so that your own body sends an urgent telegram to the base of your brain saying, "Hey, you can put down the weapon. Your heart rate has dropped, your breathing is deep, the war is over." The quickest and most scientifically supported way to do this in real time is by taking control of the only function of our autonomic nervous system that we can voluntarily control: breathing. But forget that generic nonsense about inhale and exhale slowly. That doesn't work for you. We're going to use a technical tool called physiological sigh. It's a respiratory mechanism validated by neuroscientists at Stanford that breaks the cycle of adrenaline release into the bloodstream instantly. Here's how it works. You'll take 2 quick consecutive breaths, both through your nose. First, you take a long breath, filling your chest completely. And then, at the peak, before exhaling, you take another short, quick breath. This second strong breath is the master trick. It violently inflates the tiny air sacs in your lungs that tend to deflate when stress spikes. After filling your lungs completely with these 2 breaths through your nose, you'll exhale through your mouth as slowly, and smoothly as you can, as if you were blowing through a very thin straw.
And do you know why this is pure magic? Because this prolonged exhalation directly activates your vagus nerve, which is the great biological handbrake of your nervous system. 2 or 3 short rounds of this and your heart rate plummets, your blood pressure adjusts, and that hypervigilant bodyguard finally convinces himself that he can sit back and rest his eyes. Furthermore, practice somatic physical anchoring.
When your radar starts beeping like crazy just because your boss took too long to reply to an email, don't try to rationalize the thousands of possible scenarios. Get out of your mind and into your body. Press the soles of your feet firmly against the floor. Actively feel the texture of your clothes or the weight of your hips in the chair. Go to the refrigerator, grab an ice cube, and squeeze it in your hand until it melts, focusing only on the shocking thermal sensation. Force your brain to leave the imaginary time zone of past trauma and aggressively land here and now, where gravity works and there are definitely no hidden threats hunting you. Your hypervigilance, that powerful radar, is what has saved your life, your career, and your sanity to this day. You sincerely need to put your hand on your chest and thank your body for being so strong, smart, and loyal to you in the past. But remember, you fought and survived so that one day you could truly live.
You no longer need to painfully anticipate all the world's tragedies just to feel safe or useful. The worst is over. It's in the past. Your only job now is, with great patience, to begin teaching your body that the war is over and that it's safe, finally, to lay down your weapons and appreciate peace. You're not crazy. Your pain is highly real and validated, and you're definitely not alone on this journey. See you in the next video.